Hi everyone, my name is Phil Liu, CEO of ExpoSoft. What I'm going to be talking about today is the second habit of these 7 habits of highly effective Agile testing. The second habit is treat the user as royalty. But let's step through the 7 habits first. In my keynote a few months ago in Test Istanbul, I talked about these 7 habits. The first one is focus on efficiency and effectiveness. The second one is, which we're going to be talking about in detail today, is treat the user as royalty. The third one is maintaining a continuous improvement state of mind. The fourth one is being agile rather than just doing agile. Fifth one is thinking tasks rather than roles. The sixth one, focus on the customer. And of course the seventh habit, thinking long term. Now let's talk a little bit more about habit number 2, the focus of today's video. Treat the user as royalty. Now what this simply means is really focusing on the user for everything that we do. So when we're designing test cases, when we're executing test cases, thinking about what is the right thing to test, all you need to do is think about what would the end user want? What is important to the end user? Agile came about because we were developing software that didn't meet the end user's needs. So it only makes sense that one of the key habits is really focusing on the end user. The other thing we need to do when we're focusing on the end user is really getting the user stories right. Now, user stories should be the main input for testing. And what that means is that you should be really understanding them very deeply and looking at negative, positive, and everything that the user would do, and thinking about all contexts in which the user would do these things. And if you can ask lots of questions and really get user stories well defined and understood, most importantly, is that you'll be able to avoid rework down the road. So spending a little bit of time up front, people talk about how most of the defects are a result of bad requirements. Well, in Agile, user stories are the requirements, and you really have to get these straight. The second thing is prioritizing. Use the user as a way to prioritize what you do. So if it doesn't provide a lot of value to the user and a value to the product, then put that down the list. And it'll help you really think about what's really important for doing today as well as this week or in this sprint. Test early and often. Now that's a cliche, so to speak, but I believe that you should really think clearly about what are the top 5 things that a user will do. And if you can think about those top 5 things and focus on making sure that those things get done right and are tested correctly and tested thoroughly, then you're almost certainly guaranteed that you're going to satisfy greater than 80% of your users. And the way that we do this is by what I call hallway usability testing. And that means just going around and asking people in your organization, does this look better than this? Do some A/B type testing. You can also ask them what kinds of things draw their attention away. You can find out if they're lost in a task. A lot of things you can discover in just 10 minutes without any complicated usability lab, just by testing amongst your workmates. So just in summary, remember that the user is why we exist. So make them royalty and prioritize everything that they do and understand what they're doing and understand the way that they're using your software. Don't race to the finish, pounding through your test cases and finding defects possibly that don't matter that much if you're not testing the right thing. So that's it for today, and thanks very much. We'll see you next time for habit number 3.